uns. Or
Yeah,
buns, and then...
And I tried to go with uns on stage, and nobody wanted to use it. They're like, "Who the hell is that?" Like,
yeah, it's a weird.
They'd cross it off and put just Ramsey.
Do you know X? He's a comedian.
Malcolm X.
No, I think his actual name is Xavier, but he goes by X, and he signed up he signed at Zalot one time, and I thought that someone just like wrote like an X on the sheet, so I crossed it out and put my name on it.
like across.
Like I like scribbled out the X, and
Yeah.
then I put my name on it, and then they called me up, and then X was he's like a sweet guy, so he's not gonna say anything about it. But I came off stage and he's like, "Yo, man, like that's my name." I'm like, "What? Just X?" He's like, "Yeah, that's my name."
Well, you need a last name, man.
Yeah, I'm like, what the
X-Wing.
yeah.
Oh man. Okay, let me do the intro. Welcome everybody to another episode of the UNG Odyssey podcast.
I don't know how
Gump
I
is
kicked
here.
this. I kicked it.
Either.
Is that a microphone?
That's the mic. Yeah, don't mess with that.
What happened to the other microphone?
We had complications.
You broke it?
Yes.
You broke it.
I didn't break it.
You tried to have sex with it?
It broke.
He tried to have sex with it.
So
I caught him.
Yeah, it broke. So that's our mic for now until I get the part for the old mic.
Can they hear us?
Yeah, they can hear us. Otherwise, why would we be talking?
To talk.
I wouldn't have a podcast if people can hear us. So I'd have to wait till I get new equipment. Anyway, so our guest today is local DFW comic Jack Freeman. I don't know why I said
Jack Freeman.
Jack Freeman. I'm sorry, Jack. You guys were going on, and I just like, yeah.
Double J.
So what's up, Jack? And Gump. Gump's
What's
finally
going on?
back.
Hey,
He's been gone for a while.
What's up? Nice to meet you, people.
Yeah, sorry, he hasn't been able to make it as often as possible.
Life happens.
It does. Jack, what's happening with your life?
Dude, not much, man. Shows out of the ass, man.
Right?
Ton of stuff.
I don't want those.
Stuff.
They're dirty.
Yeah, man. It's been goofy. But all people, like all comics that I talk to, like they talk about, like that it comes and goes. Like you'll have like maybe 2 months or so that have like a ton of shows, and then maybe like a few months that don't. Like no matter who you are. At least that's why I like to tell myself. And to explain why I went like 4 months without like, maybe like a show a week, but man, yeah, I just did the Plano Comedy Festival this last weekend.
How'd that go?
It was great, dude. It was rad. It was Wes Corwin, Tom Smith, Brittany Goss putting it on, and man, it was outside of this place called Hub Street in Plano, and they have this huge patio that like with full seating, you can see like 200 people. If they have the chairs for it, and I think they actually probably do. But I hosted a couple shows. I hosted the kickoff show, and that was lit. And then I hosted the 9 o'clock on Saturday show, and that was like, it was just full of people. It was like good vibes. When you think Plano, you don't think like good comedy audience necessarily. Like going to like the mic on Friday nights can be hit or miss. But man, they were there for comedy. They wanted to see it. It was awesome.
Was it like did people have to pay for tickets?
Yeah, it was a paying audience.
What time was it at? In the afternoon?
They had shows. They had like 3 shows a day at that location. And they had other stuff like the whole time, man. And yeah, man. Like so, like there was a show on Saturday. I think there was a show at 5 o'clock, a show at 7 o'clock, and a show at 9 o'clock. And I know that the 7 o'clock show was sold out. I think the 5 o'clock show was almost sold out, and then my show was, I don't know. It looked sold out.
That's cool.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. How'd you get on there?
You just apply like any comedy festival. You just you send in a video and pay a fee and everything. Mm-hmm. It's almost like, I don't know, like I studied writing in college, and I applied to a bunch of grad schools, and it kind of like, I feel like comedy festivals are kind of like grad schools, man, because you have to like, it's kind of like it's a similar application process, because you like send in some material, and you have to like pay a fee and everything. Other places, like I think Plano wasn't that bad, but other places can be like really expensive, like $50 or so to like.
Wow. Yeah. You have to pay to apply.
It's goofy, dude.
Fuck.
It's goofy, man. It's goofy, but Plano was. I think it was pretty reasonable. But then Corwin and Tom Smith and Brittany, and I think they all looked at all the videos and they just selected performers.
Okay.
That's crazy. Cool. Can you imagine if all job applications were like that? You gotta
right?
pay for them. That's fucking nuts. That would suck.
Right. It's
I'd be homeless, jobless, all that good stuff. I ain't paying to fucking apply.
Right. That's the thing, man. But it's like across. I have not seen a single comedy festival. I think like if you're like the headliner or like a big comedian, then then you don't have to pay to do it. But like at most festivals, you have to pay to apply, and then you don't get paid to perform.
Yeah. Oh, well, you got paid to perform.
No, that's what I'm saying. I didn't get paid. Like no one gets paid to perform. I'm sure headliners get paid.
It's mostly for exposure, right?
Yeah, it's exposure. It's a credit, So like now I can say that I've been at Plano Comedy Festival, which is great. I'm really proud of that, and a lot of. But like whenever like you go to like a show like Backdoor Comedy or any of the like Hyenas, Plano or the Improv, like any of these places, man, like the credits that you talk about when you go up on stage, like the credits are often festivals, TV appearances, stuff like that.
That's probably why I haven't done a festival yet, because I haven't applied to one to where it pays.
Yeah, well, you just have to apply.
I never see them on. Well, I see them on Facebook and they say apply and then send in the video. I can never figure out how to get the video on there.
Oh right, yeah. I think you just have to. Do you have your videos up on YouTube?
No.
Yeah, you have to put something up on like YouTube or Vimeo, and then you just send in the link.
I need to do that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm hiring somebody to do that for me. So
okay.
She's gonna take over that, and she's gonna start putting a bunch of stuff. She's gonna start a website for me.
How long have you been doing it now?
Doing what?
The comedy stuff.
Almost. If we're going by actual month, about a year and 6 months. But if we're going by length, it'd be 2 years ago.
Start putting your shit up, stupid.
Well, I mean, I do this and I put it on YouTube.
Oh, that's good, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, I still haven't got my last video though from the last showcase I did 2 weeks ago with.
Were you on
from Brad or Brad?
Oh, was it a bachelor showcase? Yeah. Just talk to Brad about it.
Yeah, I'll send him. You know what? I did send him a text. I sent him a text. He never responded. Maybe I'll get on Facebook and hit him up.
Yeah, man, those shows are great because I mean you get free video obviously, but then like that's also like that's at like Hyenas. That's at. So like you have that stage, but then it's also usually a huge audience, man. Like if you can be at like Hyenas, like Fort Worth, 150 people in that room, man, and get them laughing, dude. Great.
You get a good audience over there. That's the good thing about the showcases.
Yeah.
And why like people say they don't know if they're ready for showcases, like just do it, because that full room of people is always great.
Yeah, that was my first showcase, and yeah, I mean, like if you're just going to open mics and you're eating shit all the time, and like, you're like, I don't know if this is for me. You got to do like a showcase like that, because then you're like, oh yeah, no, I can make people laugh.
That's what they're there for, and they're paid to go and laugh, and they've been drinking a little bit.
Yeah, they've been drinking.
And open mics, not everybody's paying attention, and they're like, I didn't pay for this, so I'm just gonna sit here and talk to this bitch with the big titties. So.
Well, yeah.
Stuff like that.
And we get it though. As comedians, we're like, we would not listen to us either. If we were you, we would be annoyed that we would be on stage. So yeah.
And half the audience is your comics that you perform with anyway, so they already know you're acting.
They already know you're acting out loud.
There's people who I've known since the very beginning are still doing the same act at open mics. Yeah. But I'm not complaining about it. Mm-hmm. But it's just like, how am I supposed to sit here and still laugh at this stuff when I keep watching it over and over?
Was it funny the first time?
Yeah, the first couple of times it's still funny. Even every so often I'll still catch it and be like, yeah, I remember this. Still funny parts to that. But like, but that's just how open mics are. So
yeah.
But a real audience that hasn't seen it, or even better yet, if you can travel somewhere out of state to people who haven't seen your comedy, that's great. Have you done that yet? Have you gone out of state to do comedy?
Yeah. I went to Kansas City a few weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, and I performed at this place called Groundhog Day Theater in just north of Kansas City, man. Yeah, I mean it's exactly what you say, man. It's like, it's going in front of a paid audience in another state. I mean, obviously they haven't heard your shit before, but then also they're. It's like holy shit, I can make people laugh in other states. Like this translates to other places. Like that's when it starts to kind of like, I don't know. For me, it started to be like, oh, this is what a career might look like in the distant future. Is like this idea that like, oh, I can make someone laugh in Kansas City. I can make someone laugh maybe in Chicago or in New York, wherever.
Yeah, it's great stuff, man. You gotta go out. As comics in the area need to go somewhere every once in a while to kind of like renew that feeling of getting laughs and kind of boost your self confidence also, you know.
But also push yourself, man. You know Pong?
Yeah, no problem.
Man, I was talking to Pong about he does a bunch of man. He's all over the place. He's incredible, man. And he went to Oklahoma. He went on this trip with you know Carrie Cooltrip.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
He and Carrie. So Carrie, do you know Carrie? I don't know if you're in the comedy at all.
Okay.
Carrie, man, so Pong and Carrie Cooltrip. It's like it's almost like a police cop movie from like the 80s.
Opposites.
It's complete opposites.
Yeah.
Like they're just like the Pong Dong and Carrie Cooltrip. It's like
yeah, they're really really different.
Completely opposites, but like.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No,
Let's give them an idea. Pong is very like monotone, very kind of. I wouldn't say he's slow moving. He's just not one of those guys that's just like very energetic when he turns it. Carrie is the exact opposite. Who's running around all the time. He's like what's his name? Fucking that famous comedian right now, black dude.
That narrows it down.
Come on, man. The little guy.
Carrot Top.
No. Kevin Hart?
Kevin Hart, yeah. He's kind of like a Kevin Hart.
You should tell him that.
I'm pretty sure he hears that all the time.
Carrie's a guy?
Because he's kind of like this like short black guy,
Carrie
and he has like this crazy energy and like, yeah. I mean, he's not as like I feel like Kevin Hart's like loud, and Carrie's not like super loud, but like he's.
No,
like,
he's like outland. Like the things that go through his mind. It's
yeah.
just like, what the hell were you thinking about?
But completely unique, and that's why he's so. That's why he's such a good comedian. Is he just goes up on stage and he's just like channeling. And he has material. He does material, but his material is just so unique, and it's just so fun.
Yeah, somebody said the other day like they've never seen Carrie do the same show twice.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because he probably does somewhat the same thing, but changes it up, and it just looks completely different.
Yeah.
But
anyway, so they went on a trip to I don't know if it was just the two of them or if they had anyone else, and they went up to like this like show in Oklahoma, like in like the boonies of Oklahoma, and just imagine like this like a tiny little black guy with like sideways like literally like a Kevin Hart character, and then a tiny little Chinese guy, and they're just like they just go up together into like the boonies of Oklahoma, and they're like driving around, they're trying to find the gig. And they stop at like a gas station, and they're like, hey, you know, we're these comedians, we're looking for this gig, and they kind of point to a trailer out back, and they're like, oh, it's there, and so they go into like this trailer, and the trailer's just filled with like rednecks, and they're all and like the entire town knew that the show was happening, and they all came to see these guys. Okay, I think there was one, I can't remember who the other comedian was.
Well, the good thing is that they knew who they're going to see because they wouldn't be too surprised with a guy named Peng.
Yeah, this guy Pengdeng. Like they knew he was like, you know, they knew he was gonna be like.
Yeah, they knew he was not gonna be a white dude.
Pengdeng.
Yeah, it's like it looks like Pengdeng, but it's Peng Dong.
Yes,
man. And but seriously, man, I can't speak highly enough of him or
oh, dude, I saw him at Hyenas last Friday in Plano. Man.
Oh yeah,
he did great.
He's on another level.
Great.
Man. He's another cat who he just like every single week he has new set. Like he's on it. He's just writing all the time. It's incredible. So
he's really good at writing.
They do their show and the show does great, and it's mostly, you wouldn't think so because like they're like, you know, completely out of place in like a trailer in like like the meth capital of the world, you know. Yeah. But they just do great. I think it's just because like those two they're just like so earnest and like they're just so there, and they're not like, and neither like both of them they're just so funny. They're not like I just do this like clever bullshit like on stage. It's just not like I have to like find the funny. Those two guys, they're just on the funny all the time. I think that's why they did great. But anyway,
I probably would have been dumb enough to do my Leonard Skinner bit.
Right,
in front of all of them.
I would have done my. Do you know my Motley Crue bit?
No. Which one is that one?
It's
I might know actually.
It's just that I say that Nikki Sixx, who's the bassist, you guys know.
Yeah.
Nikki Sixx, like I say in the bit, Nikki Sixx overdosed and died 4 times from heroin. Mm-hmm. He was brought back from death 4 times, which in my book makes him 3 times better than Jesus.
Oh yeah.
Because like Nikki Sixx did it definitely 4 times. Jesus did it once, maybe. Like like that type of bullshit. So and if there are any Christians in the crowd, the Christians just go. They
tilt head. They turn into chickens or dogs.
Yeah.
Confused dogs.
So I would have done some stupid bullshit like that. But what I was gonna say about that is that, man, like to your point, man, it's just like going out of town. It makes you feel good because you can make other people laugh. You can make people laugh out of town. But then it also pushes you because you gotta adapt. And man, like I hear this on other podcasts all the time. It's this idea that like when you're a traveling comedian, like people in like the boonies of Oklahoma, they have no time for your bullshit. You know what I mean? Like they are here for the funny. You gotta be funny. You gotta be quick. You gotta be like authentic. Like people in like Omaha, whatever. Like these random ass towns in the Midwest, man. They're like paying $20 to see you. You gotta be funny.
And that might and also you gotta take into consideration that might be their highlight of like the month.
Exactly, man.
These people don't see stuff like that every so often. That's why everybody comes out to do it when they're there. And if you bomb, they're gonna be upset.
Yeah,
and you got the whole town upset at you.
It's a whole pitchforks and fire torches.
They're gonna put you up. There's gonna be a cross burning that night. And you might be on. It's yeah, man. It is kind of that. It's like oh shit. I can't just fuck around on stage. I gotta bring it. Every single time. That's just good.
Like if I knew what I would have to do to travel on, like if I go somewhere on the weekend to do comedy,
put gas in your car.
I would totally find somewhere. I would totally go somewhere. I guess I need to talk to the right people about where I can go. Go somewhere.
Just fucking go.
I can't just get in my car.
Point at the fucking map and bam, that's where I'm going.
Yeah, but if I go there and I'm okay,
we'll call around and like bam, and then call that area.
Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know anything about booking.
But man, a ton of places. I'm from Wichita. Even places like Wichita, man, like there's a scene. Mm-hmm. Like a lot of those places have Facebook pages, just like DFW comedians. Like they have you can hit up those pages and say like, hey, I'm a comedian from Dallas. Here's and then put a video on it. Show them like what's that, but you can do it, man. Yeah.
I need to figure it out.
Yeah.
Wichita. I'm not a Wichita.
Okay. I'm not even gonna dignify.
So,
that has to be like an Indian name, right?
Yeah. It's actually Wichita. Is the tribe.
Is the tribe.
Oh, okay. Cool. So how long have you been doing comedy now?
It's kind of similar to what you said.
Same thing.
If I did it like straight up from the time that I started in December of 2017, so over a year and a half. But then in terms of the actual time that I've been doing it, just over a year, because I did a few mics in like December, January of last year, and then I took like a 6-month break, and then I really got into it. So I kind of consider like my real start date like June 15th of last year.
Okay. Yeah, because was it hard coming back from that break?
Not really, mostly because no one, it kind of just felt like I didn't do anything. I wasn't good at all. Like I'm still not, but like then I was like, I was just talking about like stupid stuff. No one was laughing at all, so no one missed me when I stopped.
I'm sorry, Jack.
And then no one would.
You're describing my break from this podcast
to
the T.
It's kind of like
it's like I'm not funny. I'm just stupid. I don't care.
It's just like I'm kind of here. Like my best quality as a comedian was like I was there technically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then
you filled a spot.
Yeah, and I had I had like a mental breakdown, and I just couldn't do comedy for like 6 months, and then I got back into it, and when I restarted, it felt like I was like doing it for the right reasons. I was like. I was here because I wanted to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been taking a different step to my writing process, and I'm just utilizing my videos more, and my recordings more, and sitting down and listening to them. It's hard. It's so hard to listen to yourself, man. It sucks listening to yourself. You sound like I sound like such a douchebag when I listen to myself.
Real.
I was like,
we're all thinking it. So now you're here.
I fucking hate listening to this douchebag talk right now.
I got a podcast in there, but
I've been watching a lot of the Tyson podcast, the Mike Tyson podcast. And there's comedians that go on there, or whatever. They say they practice a lot. Like I hear a lot practice in the mirror. Not that I know of anything, but
Yeah.
that's what I hear. I don't know.
Yeah, practicing. When I first started, that's how.
Or like just
that's how
like you're doing same shit.
Like, did you do the same thing when you first went up? Did you, like, before you went up, did you write out your material and then memorize it first and then go up, or how did you do it that first time?
I would come up with what I want to talk about, then go on stage and then just start letting it go, just whatever I talk
just
about.
talking however you would.
Yeah, but I try to stay close to what that subject is.
Yeah.
And then, but then I would like come back later on and I would do it again, but I just completely change it and like totally disregard what I got laughs on in the other one, on one set, on one bit, on one version, and then do it a whole different way in a different version. And yeah, I'd get laughs on that version maybe here and there, but if I would have just taken what I got laughs on the first time, mixed it in with the new stuff, I would have had even more laughs. But I didn't do that, so now I'm trying to do that more, where I'll do the same thing like 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
And then each time I'll listen to all of them, and then write down what was funny, what did hit, and then disregard the scraps. There's always scraps when you do a bit that you just
all
need
the
to do
time.
it.
All the time.
But I'm still doing it where I go up there with an idea, and then just whatever pops in my head, just talk about it at first.
Right.
And then change it later on, because after you do a set, later on you get hit with other ideas. Like, oh, I could have done this, or I could have done that. Like I have my next showcase, September 29th. I totally know what I want to do, and I know
Is that
exactly.
another Bachelor showcase?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I have I've been doing it kind of at the Hyenas and whatnot,
Good.
And the end of it, it seems like I've got a pretty good ending to end it. So I'm gonna do that one on the showcase, but this one I totally changed a lot. So.
Yeah. How many times do you go up a week?
To open mics?
Yeah.
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. Probably about 8 or 9.
Great, dude. Yeah.
Yeah. If I can make what is it? I try to do Gretchen's and Hyenas in Fort Worth. I try to do those 2, and then tomorrow, Zach Rippey's Smoking Mike, and also Mona's at Twilight. And tonight I'm going to Mass. I signed up at Mass. I'm also going to go to. I'm trying to see if I can go to Phil's Garage. Phil's Garage. Have you gone? You haven't gone to it. I went to the last one.
Yeah, that was the first one. How was it? Was it good?
I liked it. It was very intimate because there's only so many people there. There was only like 8 of us.
Yeah.
But it felt good. It felt nice, and they smoked a little bit of weed and they got kind of high.
Yeah. That's Phil's Garage. You should hit him up about being on a show, because he runs those shows on the month. And man, those are some of the funnest shows you can do in DFW, man. They're so much fun, dude. Because everyone's smoking, everyone's drinking too. So, man, it's just like, dude, I some of my favorite comedy memories have been like doing those shows when they first started back in like February or March or whatever. Yeah, man.
I don't know if I should wait for him to ask me if I should be on it, or if I should just ask him.
No, hit him up.
Because
the worst thing he can say is no. But with all these bookers, man, you got to talk to them, because they don't know that you're looking. They don't know that you're wanting to perform.
They wouldn't know that you're available. Like, come on, man.
That's
like,
real.
why would you not ask?
Because I don't.
Why would they ask you?
Because he's a friend.
Oh, I got
when
you.
It comes to being a friend, it kind of sounds like I want to do things just because he's my friend. And maybe
now you gotta suck his dick to get on the show.
Yeah. You gotta open up the old butthole.
I guess so. Well, he's coming on the podcast in a week and a half.
There you go. Ask him then.
That's a good time. When he's on camera, he can't say no. He's on
camera.
And it'd be his second time being here, so I'd be like, "Come on, Phil. Come on. You've been on here twice already. Let's do this. Get me on one of your shows."
No, I mean, he understands, dude.
Yeah. Probably. I mean, I don't see why he. Yeah,
but that's what.
Just ask. Who cares?
That's what all comedy is. Is like we're all friends with these people who also run shows, who also run mics and stuff. So you just gotta hit them up. Yeah.
I'll do it. You know what? Are you gonna go to Phil's Garage tonight?
No, dude. I'm just going home.
You just gonna go home? Okay, I'm gonna go to Phil's tonight.
Yeah. Just hit him up.
I'll wait. I should probably check now to log on. I'll just show up. He probably
just show up.
He'll be like, all right, 3 people showed up. Then I show up and. Yeah. All right. So, but like as far as the writing process, do you do anything special that's maybe different than other people, or
No,
do you record all your sets?
I record all my sets. I listen to all my sets a lot. Like it's kind of obsessive. Like I'll just sit at work the next day and like listen to the set like 3 or 4 times.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually kind of sad how bad I am, given how much I listen to my sets and how much I write. No, like I'm fine, but like it's kind of like I'm like literally listening to every single set multiple times, trying to figure out I feel like Tom Hanks in the Da Vinci Code, just just like playing around with like every little thing. And like the thing is I'm sure you know this, is like you can like listen to a set, you can write however much you want, but then when you go on stage, I'll go on stage the next night and do the exact same mistakes and just forget. I'll just forget it.
It's probably just nerves as soon as you hit that,
Yeah.
It's the adrenaline, it's the nerves. It's that you have like I'll forget like new jokes that I've written that I know that I want to put on. I'll just forget them on stage if I don't have a set list or something and everything. I don't think that I do anything different than most people. I think I probably write it out more than most people, but that's just like from my background. Like I just want to write it all out to see how it. And then almost like straight memorize it like from the page and then try to do it on stage.
I can't do that. Like I have a hard time doing it. I shouldn't say I can't do it. I have a hard time doing when I write something down and then going on stage and actually doing it how I have it written down.
Mm-hmm.
Because while I'm up there, it sometimes doesn't feel right. So I kind of I'll say something else, and that's one issue I have with watching other comics when they're up, because then they'll make me rethink what I already have written.
Sure.
And then watching, it's so hard to stay focused on that page.
Yeah.
and
yeah,
sometimes I just feel like it's scripted, and when I'm on stage and I do it exactly how the paper is, it doesn't feel right. Like as how I'm doing it, it's just I feel scripted, and I'm just.
That's what a lot of comedians talk about. Like, is that so the comedians who write the thing, like the people comedians who write it out, like me, like our challenge is to do it from that perspective, but then to make it sound like it's conversational, to make it sound like it's coming off the top of our head, And then for comedians who more so like, I don't know, right on the stage or however you want to describe it, like for them it's the challenge is cutting things down and getting it tight. Getting stuff that you're just like talking, but you also want it to be tight. You want to cut off all of the stuff that doesn't work, and you want to be, even when you're just riffing, you want to be hitting it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's just So I'm kind of in the same way. I've kind of gone much more to like writing less and then just kind of talking it out on stage more. But I'm just not as good at that. I'm much better about writing things out, and it also helps me. It also helps me like write out like actual like jokes, like joke structure almost. Like kind of like think about it much more of like set up punchline. That helps me a lot more. Forget. So say I have like a story about like something. I have a story about Aldi that I'm working on. And my problem right now is that like when I go up on stage, I don't really know what's funny about it. Like I'm kind of like telling the joke and I'm telling the story, and that people are kind of like bored by it. It's just bad right now. I don't know how to make it funny, and the problem is that like people will laugh at specific points, but now I have to go back and listen to it, transcribe it, write it all out, and then figure out what's funny about it, and then literally just cut everything else about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like a 4-minute story about Aldi just turns into like a 15-second little thing about like, hey, a dude stole my shopping cart. It's like at Aldi, like like have fun with that quarter, dude. It's like something just like that. But I feel like that's inefficient. That's not the best way to write, but that's just whenever I write on stage, that's what it looks like. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of times. There is, when I'm on stage and I have something I want to talk about, there's a lot of rambling. Rambling, but then sometimes, you get the laughs out of certain things you say, and you got to remember that part. Yeah. And that's the part you want to keep, and everything else just get rid of.
Well, that's why you listen to the set, especially if you're kind of rambling on stage. Like listen to it, and like you said, like just paying attention wherever they laugh, focus on that. Maybe you write that part out more, and then parts where they're not laughing, just cut it. You don't have time for it.
Yeah. All right. So as far as it looks like we've summarized our comedy aspect. What other interests do you have in life?
Dude, I'm kind of all over the place. So in college, I studied creative writing.
Mm-hmm.
So I was into, which is part of the reason why I write so much from the comedy perspective, is that I'm coming from like a writing perspective in general. So poetry writing is like what I did back in school, and I still do, but for myself more so. So I'm a big writer and reader, which is kind of how I spend. I like to say that I spend my time reading. What I actually spend my time on is Assassin's Creed.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing.
It's so
it's
creative.
a book.
It's so creative.
So you like to play games? Are you
That's
like
awesome.
deep in gaming, or just semi into certain ones you find?
I'm a casual, intense gamer where I'm not competitive at all. I'm shit on any shooters. I can't do anything. I'm so bad.
You're an RPG role playing type of guy.
Kind of, but I also don't like how much time they take. That's the thing, is that like I want to be able to like just do like play for like maybe 2 hours or something, and feel like I had a good time. But on Assassin's Creed, I want to play for like, I could spend I could spend 6 hours on Assassin's Creed.
They are long.
You know.
You ever play Elder Scrolls?
Dude, I played Elder Scrolls when it came out.
The very first one
Like
on
the
computer?
very first,
wow. So I remember when Skyrim came out, my brother bought it and he's like, I don't have time to play this. So I had the day off. He's like, here.
Yeah.
I played 20 hours straight and I did no missions.
You were just.
I just wanted to see the world.
That's
so
what Assassin's
awesome.
Creed is like, man. That's what, because
like Grand Theft Auto type.
Grand Theft Auto, any of those things, especially, I mean, have you played 5?
5 Grand Theft Auto,
Yeah. That's what these games now, man. These open world games, they're just like, they're so detailed. There's so much happening, man. Like they play right now. I'm on Assassin's Creed Unity, which is like French Revolution, and man, you're just like walking around. You're just like going into houses, and there are people doing shit in these houses, and I'm just like standing around, just like watching.
Yeah, just watching. Yep.
Watching
You ever
these
kill
NPCs.
everybody?
I first started watching computer graphic people in Grand Theft Auto 3. In Grand Theft Auto 3, you'll just stand there, and there'll just be people walking by, and then they'll just say the dumbest shit, and I love it.
Wouldn't they like push right into each other? And
Yeah,
push
they
each
would
other?
start fighting, but no, the conversation was the best because they'd walk and I thought she was my second cousin, and they keep going. I was like, who the fuck wrote this shit? And then, like, just
when I started doing comedy, before I started, I was playing, what was that game I was playing? The one where they're in the
Fallout.
Fallout 3 or 4. Fallout 4. I was playing. I had like 60 hours into it.
It might have been 3.
Then it was 4. Okay. On the PS4, and I started doing comedy, and I had to completely stop playing games.
Yeah.
Because it was stopping me from doing anything.
I'm that guy that if I start playing something and I like it and I allow myself to play it, I can play it and forget about everything else. Oh, I was supposed to go to work today. Oh, my daughter's at school and she's waiting for me to pick her up. It's only been 4 hours. She could wait another hour. Like, it's just bad.
My daughter's still in the car.
Yeah.
Stuff like that, yeah.
I just shit myself 6 hours ago. Just...
Games are dangerous for people.
Yeah,
who want
they
to do
can
something
like.
with their life.
I got an addictive personality, so it's a
Have you
problem.
done VR? Have you used PS?
Porno only.
I haven't done a VR yet.
Dude, it's getting.
You cut me off. You're like, okay, and then Ruben.
It's getting goofy, man. Like it's really unsettling what you can do in VR now.
There's a video. I don't know if I showed it to you. It's a video of a guy and a sword, and he goes after people. But apparently you can grab somehow. So he's grabbing these people and throwing them, and it's just awesome. It looked so fun. I want to play it.
Weird.
Yeah,
but that's kind of like I was thinking about that from the perspective of like holy shit, like you can already do like in Grand Theft Auto, you can do some fucked up shit in Grand Theft Auto. You can do crazy stuff.
Yeah.
But then when you're in VR doing that stuff, then it's like you're adding like the physicality. So you could be like
killing,
stabbing people, like shooting civilians.
I got the motion down. Who do you want to kill?
And you're like, I mean, don't even start on like VR porn and like that. Like, what's happening with that, dude? You can do so much. And it's only gonna get like more realistic over time. And man, I was thinking about that because like same thing. Like if I'm like in Assassin's Creed or something, and like there's a difference between me like killing a civilian, like kind of like doing like this, and then being like actually like. The actual like hand motion.
Somebody walks in while you got somebody on the floor. You're just going like. Then somebody walks in like, what the hell?
Well,
are you doing?
that's on. It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. You watch that? Well, they have a VR, and he's all like, "You shot the kid," and he's like doing this, and he's like giving. And then there's a guy watching Dennis. He's like he's blowing the guy again. And he's already like the gay character of the show.
Yeah.
So there's just
Mac?
yeah.
Oh, fucking Mac.
Well, you know what's gonna happen is that like a dude's gonna be like he's gonna have his like VR shit on and everything, and then he's gonna be like in the corner like going like this, and then his girlfriend's gonna like walk in and be like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Nothing."
Almost done.
Just like,
Almost done. Give me 5
There's gonna be splooge everywhere now.
There isn't already?
Rowing machine, give me 5 minutes. You know
Yeah. But that is crazy. Things they're starting to do with VR, and
My boyfriend works out naked.
I recently heard one of those guys that was on the Rogan podcast, and they're trying to figure out how they can have the VR to where it has cameras and sensors, and you can use your whole living room and everything in your house would be part of the simulation, so you actually wouldn't run into anything and whatnot. But
Have you seen those where it's a ball that you're getting in, and it's not home, but you know those rich people or whatever. It's a ball and a VR, and you're walking on a treadmill, and you can do all this, and you're floating.
Oh no, I haven't seen that.
Yeah, you're floating.
Yeah, that's like the really
Like
advanced
belt,
stuff.
and everything.
That's like the really advanced stuff
to where you don't run into stuff. You're just in place.
Fly, like just go in a flying motion.
I'm sure you can. I'm not familiar with it.
It's like if you're on if you're using like the PlayStation VR, then like to move you use like a joystick or something to move your character in world. But then with that type of VR, then you actually like physically move. You're like using your legs to manipulate the character in the world. So like you're having like completely different.
Did you ever watch that movie Ready Player One?
No, but it's like I think
they're making stuff like that. The suit, it's gonna be clunky, of course.
Yeah.
Not as smooth as it was in the movie.
Yeah.
But they're making actual suits to where like you can feel the pressure of certain things when something happens to your body. And
it's Black Mirror. You guys watch Black Mirror?
Not yet.
I did. I watched
hear
Black
it's
Mirror.
good.
Okay, here's the thing. Did you watch I'm not sure. Did you watch the new Child's Play movie?
Not yet.
You should watch it because
it's Terminator.
It's.
No,
to me, Child's Play was pretty much like a really It's like it was like a really long and kind of like the acting was still pretty shitty, but a really long version of a Black Mirror episode.
What do you think?
Pretty much what it was.
What do you think of the voice acting? It was what's his name? The guy from Star Wars, the Joker.
Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill. What did you think of the voice?
It sounded good, but they made him sound glitchy at points because that's what he was supposed to be having problems with his AI. But I didn't know that he was going to be AI, the whole thing was AI. So that's what made it very Black Mirror-ish.
Yeah.
Because his AI was kind of learning.
Well, but have you seen the new season of Black Mirror?
I haven't, not yet.
Oh shit! There's an episode. I'll like kind of like a light spoiler.
It's fine. I don't mind spoilers.
Is that this guy? He gets like kind of like a VR type of tech for a video game, where you put it on your forehead and then it like immerses you into the world, and you kind of like slump down in your chair.
Like you're on heroin.
Yeah, literally like it looks like this. And then they cut to the actual video game where the dude is.
And they bury him and he wakes up in a coffin.
I think I have seen that episode.
So what happens is that he and his bro are playing like a Street Fighter type of game where they're both like characters in Street Fighter. One of them is a female character, one of them is a male character.
And they start fondling themselves.
They start having sex like in the game, and they're like these two bros like knowing each other for years. They're like
Do they know that or do they not know that?
No, they know it.
Oh, that makes it weird.
Isn't it? Okay,
if they didn't know it, that'd be kind of cool.
Dude,
I mean, not kind of cool, but it'd be
so
different.
Complicated, man. It's so it made me uncomfortable, but it was also kind of like man, which of my bros would I do?
Who would the girl be if I was the guy?
I was like, I'm supposed to.
Or would I be the girl? Would it?
I was like, I need a friend. I need to find a friend like that who can also keep a secret.
That's what it is. It's like that's like it kind of feels like I also went to summer camp. Like that's
that kind of thing. Oh man, so yeah, VR. I don't think we're too far away from that, man. Maybe like another 10, 15 years.
The VR, like
20.
I think it's all cool until you start doing like that type of thing where like the tech in that episode was something that you literally, it looks like a little like button, and you put the button on your forehead, and then it like immerses your entire consciousness in this video game. There's another episode of Black Mirror about these two old women who they've like uploaded their consciousness to like a program, and it's like this thing that you can, it's a service that you can buy instead of like when your body dies, they upload your consciousness into a computer, and then your consciousness just lives on forever, and like they live in like this like,
that's kind of like the bad guy from Captain America, the first movie.
It's Red Skull.
No, the other guy, the little, the scientist dude.
Oh, yeah, the scientist. Whatever.
I put him into the computer, like a supercomputer.
You know that guy played Dobby? You know that actor played Dobby?
He did Dobby for real?
Yeah, that guy.
That was Dobby?
Yeah, that little. You know that.
I can't believe they fucking killed Dobby, dude.
You're still mad.
It's like, are you fucking serious? Not fucking Dobby, dude. Kill Ron. Fuck Ron.
Yeah, fuck Ron.
Oh, come on, the gingers always die.
They fucking killed Dobby.
Well, I mean,
he was a fucking slave.
So mad about Dobby.
He was a fucking slave.
He was a slave.
And then he got freed. And you killed the fucking slave that was freed, dude?
Man.
No, you don't do that. It was a woman writer, wasn't it? Of course. Hateful. No, I'm joking.
The point. Yeah, now you're gonna be fired from SNL.
Oh yeah, who cares?
You're not hosting the Oscars.
You're not hosting the Oscars.
Oh, there you go.
Because of that comment.
Was it Kevin Hart?
Your Twitter band.
I thought it was a gay bash thing.
What do they call it? Black band, blackballed, or dark band? Something when you
blacklisted.
Blacklisted. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll call it blackballed.
Blackballed.
I like blackballed.
You're blacklisted
from
everyone.
I've painted
on
them black
social media.
before.
I'm pretty sure. Oh man, I made a mistake today
You
on
painted your
Facebook.
balls
No,
black?
they said this article about this transgender boy who won
You commented
females championship with twice.
Yeah, what did
and
you
I was all like, man, fuck that guy or girl, whatever she is, but fuck that person. And then they're like, oh no, he's being forced to wrestle with girls because of school. And I was like, whoops, my bad. I got it mistaken with a different article that I've heard of where the guy has, obviously has a sex change, so because he wants to compete with women. And
so it was a girl turned into a guy and she wins?
No, it was a guy going transgender into a girl, but he's like still in high school, so the school made him wrestle with girls instead of wrestling with guys because he's because he's.
Yeah, because she identifies as a girl, so then they're like, yeah, man.
But like in other sports, there's guys who are purposely transgendering to female and then playing the sport with other females and then dominating. Like there's a I think there's like a what are those people who heavy lifters? Not heavy lifters. Oh, come on. Like a strongman type of competition. Yeah, there's one that's male transgendered to a female, and now he's like breaking all kinds of records, and like that's not right.
It's tough. It's really. I feel like whenever I hear shit like that, I think like in like 50 years we're gonna look back on this and think like, man, we were just trying to figure it out.
Yeah, that's where we're at right now. I think
we're just trying to figure it all out.
Which like I try not to comment or hate, not hate. I really don't try to hate, but like get involved in it. You know what I mean? Like whoever's, oh, that's wrong for this. Like, well, that's that opinion. Oh, this is right for this. No, that's that opinion.
Right.
Well, fuck it. Let me keep going. Who the fuck cares?
It's like I should. What I feel like that's absolutely correct. Whenever I hear shit like that, I'm like, thank God I don't have to make that decision.
Yeah.
Because no matter what decision you make, it's
you decide to put it on there if if it's online or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
I'm just like, fuck it.
I never comment on any.
Yeah, I try not to, but there's just sometimes.
I do.
For your exact reason, really.
Yeah.
Because like they're gonna.
I know.
Yeah, they're gonna come after you if you agree or disagree, dude.
Who
fucking cares?
What am I? A troll. I've been told that I'm a troll on there.
Yeah,
my social media sometimes.
In 50 years, when you're finally promoted to assistant manager of a subway, you're gonna.
You have a problem with this guy sucking that dick?
Yeah,
you're fired.
Yeah. You know what? Something else I heard. None of this is comedy based anymore. We're kind of just going off topics.
We're just
whatever.
You don't mind.
It. Who cares?
But I heard recently that there's this. Somebody was on Rogan's podcast. Do you ever listen to Joe Rogan's podcast?
Every once in a while.
There was somebody on there. He had a scientist on there, and the guy was talking about how we have 12 years left.
Oh yeah,
as far as how we doing with pollution and everything.
Oh yeah.
Before it's irreversible.
Before it's irreversible, and before it starts like causing real damage to where we're not gonna have the ability to like mass produce food anymore. Sure. It's just gonna start getting more and more hard to find. What do you what's your opinion on a situation like that? Like
thoughts?
I mean, it's like there's no argument about whether or not it's happening or whether or not it's man-made, like a man-caused crisis. Like there's no everything that I have seen. The sources that I trust tell me that, and people who I respect who have a greater understanding of how science and how the scientific community uses evidence strongly suggests that all that's true. That is the most diplomatic way of saying like we're doing it. So the problem is that I don't think the cynic in me or maybe like the pessimist in me says that like we're not gonna do anything about it.
No,
it's gonna take until catastrophic events happen. Like
so we finally start figuring out.
I mean, just look at what all the hurricanes that are happening this year. Like one after another are going through like the same areas. There's another tropical storm that's about to form like in the exact same area of like the Bahamas, like western coast or eastern coast of Florida. Man, it's just gonna keep ramping up. Houston's gonna get hit more. New Orleans, the East Coast is just gonna keep getting hit. We're just gonna like as you guys watch with our politics, man. Our politics are just so
crazy.
Like both sides are so tied to money interests that they don't have any incentive to do anything about it, to do any sort of even like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and like the really far left people. They're so blind to political reality about how the country works that they don't know how to talk to the country in a way that that convinces like the rednecks of like eastern Oklahoma, who will also be affected by it. They can't talk to those people because they're so rooted in their own bullshit, divisive politics, just like the people on the left, on the right. I think the people on the right are more flagrant in their like lack of morality, whatever. But like, man, the money until we get money out of politics, which is never gonna happen. If until we get money out of politics, gun control's never gonna happen. Lasting climate legislation, whatever, is not going to happen. I'm not being very funny right now because it pisses me off so much to watch like the Democratic debate and all this stuff because I'm watching like I think Bernie's great. I think that Elizabeth Warren's great. I even like the more moderate Democrats, but they're so out of touch with America. They're so out of touch with middle America, like the people that we live around. They will never be able to talk to any of these people about these issues.
Yeah, I'll go a step further and say just in general, people are out of touch with people, man. It's fucking nuts. Like, well, I mean, we don't understand each other for sure. We're not going to. But then for us to want to change, unless we find something out of it, we're not going to want to change.
There's like why change? Like that's kind of like most people from their perspective is like, I'm gonna take care of my family. I'm gonna do whatever. I'm gonna protect myself and my family, and that type of thinking is exactly why like we don't get each other. There's no empathy. People are, man.
Yeah. It's only getting worse.
The United States is like a stubborn man who doesn't want to go to the doctor. And then something really bad happens to where they need to go to the doctor.
And they put a
like,
Band-Aid on it?
Fine, I'll go to the doctor finally. And they'll get medicine. And they're like, oh, I'm starting to feel better. And they're like, because I feel better, I'm going to stop using the medicine.
Stop taking the medicine.
One thing that has been bothering me lately, for one, Trump actually thought that maybe they could use a nuclear weapon to stop a hurricane. It's so stupid to think that. Did you know that he said that?
There's so many things like that. Every single week, like stories will come out about like buying Greenland, like using nukes for the just stuff that it's so. There has to be a reason why they the White House lets that out, and I really do believe this idea that they're just distracting us.
It's just propaganda.
It's just propaganda. Yeah. It's using us to distract. And then whenever something like that happens, man, then all of the liberal progressives are coming out hey, look at look at this, Trump is obviously crazy or stupid. And
while they're signing stuff behind the
while they're doing all this other stuff, and all the progressives, so they're yelling at Trump, and then Trump can be oh, look at them, they're overreacting, and then that fires up his base. It's it's just
that's what I'm wondering what's happening right now.
I hear you.
What's happening right now is why did he bring up this whole vape thing? I feel like every time he brings up an issue like that, there's something that he's trying to keep.
But see, this is politics in general, man. I've always said it, the president is a puppet. He has whatever he can do or whatever. But either way, this is always look at me here.
Yeah.
While I'm doing this here.
Yeah, with the other guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because as far as the vaping thing goes, I mean, we have a way bigger problem with opioids.
Dude.
But he wants to attack the vapes? Well, the tobacco company over vaping?
Because the pharmaceuticals aren't making money off of that.
Yeah, man. There's so much money in
You think
in
so?
Big Pharma.
You think maybe that's why? That's actually not a bad idea.
Big Pharma
Because if people are not smoking as much and staying healthier because of vapes, then maybe the big pharma's all hey, there's too many healthy people. They don't have that much chest problem as we used to have.
No, man, but that's exactly how the opioid epidemic started. Not because there were more sick people, but because they created a product that healthy people or healthier people could use and then get addicted to. People who had chronic pain that 2 decades ago you wouldn't have gotten medicine for.
Yeah.
Then they created a medicine for that thing that didn't have medicine before. And oopsie daisy, it just so happened to be highly addictive.
And they give you a stronger dose than what you need and all that good stuff.
Did you know that if somebody's on fentanyl, which is that one opioid fentanyl, if somebody's on it, and you go to help them, this is happening with paramedics and police officers. They go to help them, they'll get fentanyl through skin to skin contact, and then they can have
addiction.
They might have an overdose reaction to it because it's been happening. I listened to this podcast.
They're getting overdosed by touching people's skin.
Yeah, because
that's crazy.
It'll be in their sweat glands, and I first heard it on Radiolab. They did a podcast. Radiolab did a podcast. You ever listen to Radiolab?
Not really. I know of it. Yeah.
Yeah, and I was like, what? I was like, so now this guy who was a paramedic who was helping this person they were drenched in water, and he went to help them. Next thing you know, he started feeling sick, and he didn't know what's going on. And now that person is getting jail time for getting help from the ambulance person.
I don't know if you should jail them, but that's crazy.
Well, I mean,
and that's that's paramedics going to help a heroin addict, and then getting heroin through the skin. That's ugh, God, that's
I know.
terrifying.
Shit, and so that shit's crazy. But
now you have junkie paramedics running around
yeah.
wanting to help.
Let me help you, man.
Yeah, let me help.
Let me help.
Wait, is that overdosing? Can I help?
I need my
Are you sweating? It's not making sweat.
Hey, can we turn off the AC in here real quick?
It's like overdose.
I'm pushing the car there.
Overdose people on fentanyl. Overdose people on fentanyl are like the new Toad.
Oh man, that's crazy.
You go looking for one so you can make it. I'm tripping balls now.
I told you I'm fine. Now it's my 5 o'clock. I gotta get this.
Oh shit!
It's time for me to lick you.
What else can we talk about before? Because we're gonna wrap up here in about 10 to 15
already?
minutes. Yeah. Well, I'm trying to. I mean, we can go a little longer now. Yeah, I'll wait till the new thing for a minute. What else has been going on? Let's see. We talked about that. We talked about what's your future in comedy. What do you like? What do you want to grow into?
I don't know, man. I don't know, because love it so much. I think it's the first thing in my life that I don't know. It's the first thing in my life that that I felt like checks all of my boxes, like all the boxes of everything that I want to do. And I want to perform. I want to be creative. I want to entertain people. I also I love the lifestyle. I love late nights, like the hours are totally my hours.
You're a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Yeah. That's cool.
I can't stand waking up early.
I hate it.
I have a 9 to 5 right now. I like my job, but waking up early is driving me insane. Like
my weekend is wake up at 4. Oh man, I'm up. I'm never going to sleep. I'm up at 1.
Right.
I'm just a night person.
Because when you have a job like that, you just stay up. It's almost easier just to stay up and then catch up on sleep 2 days later.
Yeah, that's what I do. On Monday,
It's so I say all of that, but then I'm kind of worried about the business. I don't know if I can make it. You know what I mean? I don't know if
Well, I mean, if it's fun, then it doesn't matter, right?
Sure.
I mean, you need to eat and whatever, but
Yeah, for sure. I think that's really that's the decision that I have to make. But there are a lot of people, there are a lot of really great comedians here in DFW who I respect that have day jobs and they have families and they're also working comedians. They're touring. They do their stuff. There are a lot of comedians in DFW that live that life. So I really respect that. I have to figure out if that's in the future. If I want to pursue comedy, which I'm actively thinking about. I'm trying to imagine. I'm talking to people. Then I would move to New York, because New York is, for me, that's what comedy has always been, is New York.
Yeah, I was told that if you could before, and I've been told by a lot of people like Butch. I had this one comic who's a 12-year veteran. Did you see him by any chance? His name was Colin Williams.
Yeah, you told me about it.
He told me the same thing though. Yeah. But him and Matt also, and somebody else told me though, before I decide to go anywhere like that, New York or LA, to first get 2-3 years in comedy, and work your hardest to become an MC. Yeah. If you can become an MC, you'll have that as you can add that to your resume in comedy,
right?
And that really helps you, and you're not going over there with just because if you were to go over there without some of that, you'd kind of be starting all over in comedy.
For sure.
And they're no, just get your MC. Even Colin was all stay here, do as much comedy between 3 and 5 years, get to know who you are on stage, become an MC, maybe be a feature, and then decide to move somewhere like that. Butch says that here's just fine. He's stay here, one of the biggest places in the U.S. to do comedy, which is kind of true.
It is, yeah. It's absolutely true.
I just feel as far as if you want to do more with comedy, as bigger shows, bigger audience, but also maybe do writing scripts for a show or something like that. LA or New York would probably be a little stronger than that. Here's good comedy.
It is
great comedy.
Yeah.
But as far as becoming a writer for a show or something like that, I don't know. I don't see that too much here.
No, if you have any other ambition than stand up, then New York, LA is you can't get those jobs from here.
Do you remember? I can't think of his name right now. Jewish dude.
Joseph
Rosensweig.
Yeah.
He's doing a lot of mics over there. Yeah. But one of the reasons why he's doing really good is because he has so much background in film here. He had a lot of background in film here. So when he went over there, he gave him his film credentials after somebody saw him on stage. But it's his film stuff that's helping him get more.
For sure.
Not really his comedy. People like his comedy, but his film is what's getting him out there. So
yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I produce videos for my job. I produce training videos. So I'm kind of thinking along the same lines of that. If I go to New York, then that's the job that gets me there, and then once I'm there, then comedy is the aspiration,
Cool.
But to answer your original question, my aspiration is I want to be paid to do comedy every night. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean? And I feel that's that's the difference between like here and LA and New York. It's like either of those places, but especially New York. If you're on the level of someone who gets booked at as a national touring headliner or something like that, you know, like think like do you know like Mark Norman or something like that? Like someone like Mark Norman, who I love. I think that he's incredible. Getting on that level or thereabouts. Then when you're in the city, when you're in New York, like during the week or something, you can go up every night and still get paid to do it, and that's how you all of that money kind of goes into the same pot to make you have a living, you know. Yeah.
Cool.
What about you? I've never asked you. What's yours?
Because I don't want to tell everybody all over again. No, I don't think I've talked too much about it, but I would like to get paid for it, of course. But for me, it's like I just want to be happy doing something that I really enjoy. Yeah. So if I can just keep doing this forever, and then make some money off of it, cool. I am gonna get better at the business aspect of it with a little help from a friend of mine who's gonna just do some things like she's gonna add like a booking spot on my website.
Good.
So where people can, if they want to book me, they can just go there. But I don't know, man. I don't need to be famous.
Yeah.
But I do want to travel because I want to just see different spots and do comedy throughout the United States.
Yeah.
But like, I guess the way I see it is like, if I don't put it on a pedestal, I'll enjoy it more.
Sure.
Once I get there.
Sure.
But I feel like if I did put something like I'm gonna be super famous. I'll make a lot of money, and I know I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
And I feel like if I start putting into that mentality, it starts not being so much fun.
But fame, like if anyone is in this, I mean, I here is a person who's been doing it for like a year saying this, but you just hear again and again. If you're doing it for fame or money, you're insane. You're like the probability of any one of us becoming famous, whatever that means, is so insanely crazy. It's like that's not the aspiration. The aspiration should be like you say, being funny, having a good time, like being really satisfied with how you're doing, making progress, all these things. Like that's how, if fame does come, that's how it comes. Mm-hmm. And if it does, well, whatever. But there is a space that people don't talk about. There is a gap between like famous, and then there is a pool of comedians in the country who make a living off of it, who do work, and they're working comedians, and that's their job. And that's where I want to be. Fame, whatever, screw it. Fame is only, for me, I think Patton Oswalt said this, was like, for him, he saw like all of his TV, Ratatouille, like all these like films and stuff, like he saw all of those as ways for him to keep doing stand-up. Because all of those things got people to go see him do stand-up, and that's what he wants to do. And that's kind of how I feel. If those other things come, whatever, I want to do stand-up.
Peyton Oswalt, he's hilarious. I've been listening to him for a long time.
Dude, his albums are insanely funny.
Yeah.
They are, like, they're... Have you listened to his... do you listen to the Good Ones podcast?
No, maybe I should check it out.
So he talks about... so the Good Ones podcast is like this podcast that talks about... it's like comedians talking about a specific joke that they wrote. Uh-huh. And he has a joke about... off of Annihilation, which is the Polish woman of death. Do you know that joke?
No.
It's like how like he like when his wife died, like right after his wife died, like this Polish lady like at an airport like reminded him and his like daughter like on Mother's Day or something that like his wife died or something. I can't remember it specifically.
Oh, I think I did hear that. Yeah.
And he's like talking about it, and just like the way that he like does that voice is like, I don't know, like the energy that he does is insane. Yeah.
Is that the same one where he talks about where he sees like this short black dude and he gets bumped into by this white guy?
That's a different joke. Yeah.
Okay, because I remember that one. He also mentioned how his wife had died from cancer recently, or I think it was recently.
Yeah, it was a few years back, but yeah.
I remember one of my favorite lines is where I forget what the premise of the joke was, but he was like, you hit a midget with a hammer, he turns into 1,000 gold coins.
yeah. Dude, I remember that one.
See, that's how long ago that was when you could still use the word midget.
Yeah, you can still use it.
You can't use that word anymore?
No, low people.
It's
can I use I don't know if you want to cut the episode, or can I use the bathroom?
No, go use the restroom real quick. We'll still go another 10,
I have heard that before. You can't use that word anymore?
Midget, no. It's not, you're not supposed to use it. But there's a lot of words you're not supposed to use anymore. It's not PC anymore.
Man, people are just too fucking sensitive.
Yeah,
fuck. No wonder I stay in my fucking closet and shut the fucking door.
When it comes down to things you can say, one of my homeboys, Matt, I think have you met Matt?
No.
From Matt McLahoon?
Probably.
He got in trouble for saying Eskimo. I don't know.
Oh yeah. I remember him saying. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, Eskimo, and then now they're supposed to be called First Indigenous or something like that.
I just don't want no part of it. Go to my closet and yell fag, fuck, retard, and all that shit.
I got told at an open mic that I made a joke about the El Paso shooting. And part of the joke was...
Okay, well, I understand people getting mad about that. Okay? You don't make fun of people, tragic shit. Why
not, man?
Well, I mean, you can, but I'm just saying, that's something to get mad about. You know what I mean? People dying is something to get mad about.
I said, the El Paso shooting, I heard it was 22 people died. And I was like, would have been a lot less, but it's hard to run and hide when you're in a electric motor cart. Walmart, there's a lot of people. And then I was like, and I said, that's why I like to shop at Whole Foods, because you people are not going to sit there and kill your own, the rich white people.
Yeah.
And then, but I said that, and then this guy was all like, oh man, that's too far. I was like, did I go overboard? It's like, man, you went way overboard. And I was like,
well, let me go a little step further.
But then here again, the same guy that told me that, I later find out that he's a Joey Diaz fan. And I'm like, you're gonna wait? I'm too harsh, and I say too, and I cross the line. But you're a Joey Diaz fan? That dude is nothing but crossing the line over everything he says. Do you ever listen to Joey Diaz?
I've never listened to his albums or anything. I've seen just clips of him.
Oh well, yeah. He's pretty hardcore with what he says.
Dude, have you ever listened to Gilbert Gottfried?
Yes.
Dude.
He says some insane things.
He says something crazy.
I think we allow it because of his voice.
He's got the craziest. He's got the craziest version of that joke, the aristocrats.
Dude,
I want to write something to overtop.
How do you know about that? How did you find out about that?
I think YouTube. I just saw it one time and it said Gilbert Gottfried, the aristocrats, and I just played and
that is hilarious. So, dude. The podcast I just mentioned, Good Ones, they just had an episode about him talking about that joke.
Yeah.
And how and how the joke came about over the course the tradition of that joke and everything. But then his version is did you listen to the album version or the version that he did at the roast?
I think it was one it looked like, from what I remember, it looked like he was he was sitting at a desk and he was just talking to the camera.
Yeah, I think that's the roast of Hugh Hefner. So that became a thing because Penn Jillette.
Yeah, I know Penn.
So Penn Jillette did a documentary about that joke because Gilbert Gottfried has a really famous version of that joke that you mentioned. But I mean, it's just a really famous joke. Do you know what he's talking about? So there's this joke, and for your 12 listeners at home now.
Damn right.
12, 13, 20.
Proud of those 12 minus 10.
Hey mom. So there's a joke called the Aristocrats, and it's the I'll just tell the setup of the joke is that a talent agent is in his office and a family walks into the talent agency, and the talent agent asks what their talent is, and then the family just starts to do. So the point of the joke is that then you have the family just do the craziest shit you can imagine, they're fucking each other. They have animals like involved.
Yeah, there's a dog or somewhere.
Like there's shit. Like you're just supposed to like they just do all of the. And so the comedian just like makes up like the craziest shit that they can think of that the family does. The crazy funny like shit. So like incest, like all of this stuff. And then at the end of the joke, the talent agent goes, "Well, that's quite a talent you have there. What do you call your act?" And the family goes, "The Aristocrats." And then that's the end of the show.
Yeah, it's not really a punchline to say the Aristocrats, but it's like its own thing to see how gross you can make it. And apparently he's one of the top ones that made it that.
So what is his?
Yeah. So his is like he just like so again like it changes from telling to telling because like you literally just make up the crazy like and now in the moment you just make up the craziest things that you can imagine.
Does it always start off with a family?
I think yeah, it's always a family that goes into like a talent agent's office, and then what the family does is what's crazy.
Like your version of it.
So Gilbert Gottfried has I don't know how many rules we can break with that.
Don't worry about the rules. It's all right. Let's just keep talking about it. Let's do it.
I don't need to break the illusion, but we've been acting under rules.
This is scripted, word for word.
Word for word. We actually have.
Yeah.
I've been
teleprompter.
Yeah, what's that word? I can't. So, but the version that he tells is like the family's like having sex with like the dad is like fucking the mom who's fucking the son who's fucking the daughter, and like they're like fist fucking each other's like assholes and like all this like crazy shit.
Yeah.
And then like rats come. And like the rats are like fucking the family, and then like they get like decapitated, like and then like there's a dog who's also like
there's what I think like one of them's like the dad like fucks the daughter who was a virgin, and all this like they're talking about kids. They're like between the ages of like 5 and 12, I recall.
Yeah.
And they just go into all kinds. It's like there's blood because she was a virgin all over his dick, and then there's shit involved and scat and yeah, like you said, the dog fucking somebody and
so the reason why it's funny is I mean whenever you have to say the reason why it's funny, that's always dangerous. But like when you hear Gilbert Gottfried, because it's his voice, Gilbert Gottfried's voice, so he's just like, and then the dog eats the pussy, and like all this like crazy like the wildest shit. And the audience, as time goes on, the audience realizes what's happening, and that Gilbert Gottfried's just making up, like, the worst things imaginable, and then, like, everyone's just, like, he's just killing it. And then, like, kind of, like, by the end of it, like, they want him to, like, get as gross as possible, and he gets, like, he really, like we've just, like, hit, like, the top of the iceberg of, like, some of the crazy shit that he says. So why did we bring up the Aristocrats? Oh, I just brought up Gilbert Gottfried because I was listening to that. That podcast
because of the type of joke it was,
and how like, but yeah, like how like he's he actually might be the nastiest comedian I've ever heard.
Yeah.
We were talking about him because of Diaz, Joey Diaz, but he's actually the nastiest. Like that joke is like probably the nastiest thing I've not ever heard, but definitely heard on stage. Like that was insane.
It was, but yeah, awesome. Just to hear him go, the Aristocrats.
Yeah, at the end, you just
like so proud the way he said it. Yeah, and his eyes were all squinty. Like,
that's his closer. The version that they were talking about, the album, it was his closer of that show. So he just goes like, the Aristocrats, thank you everybody, and then like that's the end of the show. And so he ends on like the. Like it's like every Saw movie combined with Human Centipede combined with it's like
Hostel
with like every like torture porn combined with like.
I need a what was that podcast name again?
It's called Good Ones. The Good Ones podcast.
Okay.
It's great, man. It's really 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 good.
Cool. Well, guys, that has been the Aristocrats podcast.
The Aristocrats.
Gump, thanks for coming on. Real quick. Oh wait, do you want to do the Conan O'Brien questionnaire? No, you cool? Okay,
I'm cool.
So let's skip it this time. Next time I'll give you a heads up. But you know what it is, right?
Yeah, you said that we like call in.
Yeah, we
do like the podcast.
I've listened to that podcast, the complete thing. I've heard it once.
Yeah, I don't think it's an actual thing.
I don't think it's an actual thing.
I think that like I don't know.
He's just gonna reply to his text.
Sorry, PJ was calling me on here.
No, he wasn't.
Do you have any shows you want to talk about real quick or coming up soon?
Yeah. For okay, so this week I have on Friday I have it's sold out, so it's just basically like bragging about it.
Okay.
Like, hey, look
Go
at
ahead,
this.
brag
Look at
about
this.
it.
Look at this. Look at
Bragging
this.
rights.
My balls are dragging on
Look,
the floor.
look at this. I have what was the thing? Black balls. I feel like black balls is like when your balls are just so great that like they're just like huge, and you know what I mean, like they're just like I have black balls today. Like,
I think we can coin that term.
I think we just coined a new
Yeah,
term.
I think that'll work.
So I have Gretcho's bus show. I'm headlining the
Oh,
bus show.
you're doing that bus show. You're the first
Friday.
person I've heard that's actually doing it.
Yeah, man, and I'll let you know.
Let me know.
Next time I'm on.
Dude, you gotta come on so we can talk about that.
We'll talk about it. I'm
really
excited about it.
He wants to come back. All right, we got one.
So I'm headlining that show on Friday night. But tickets are sold out, so and then but on Saturday night. So Saturday night is September. Dude, I don't even know, man.
21st.
September 21st. So September 21st, I'm in Plano for. Do you know Jordan Black?
Yeah, Jordan Black.
Yeah. Jordan Black is doing a birthday show.
Cool.
And it's at, dude, if you just go, for the two people listening, if you Google Jordan Black's birthday show.
From 12 to 2? Come on, man.
12 to 2 to 12, for the 2 to 12 people listening.
Yeah. That's our range.
That's the
We've
range.
never been past 12 at one time.
Hey, YouTube get to watch for you.
I've watched each video 30 times, yes.
He has not.
So that's Saturday night.
Different accounts.
I'm doing the feature spot there. Jordan is headlining. So that's gonna be a great show. It's in this tiny little theater. I can't remember the name of it in Plano. And then Sunday night I'm doing Almost a Comic at Armory. The Almost a Comic show that Hannah O'Brien puts on. The legendary DFW Hannah O'Brien. I'm on that showcase, and that's gonna be a great showcase. That's 8:00 Armory in Deep Ellum.
Okay, cool, man, cool. Any kind of shout outs you want to do? Do you want to shout out your social media?
Oh yeah, man. At Jack John Freeman. So JACKJOHN.
That's why I can never find you, fucking Jack John. I was like,
FREMAN, yeah.
Why Jack John?
Because my legal name is John.
Okay.
So John Freeman is my legal name, but then Jack is my nickname. So I was just trying to think of
why is the nickname? I never got nicknames.
Just let it happen, dude.
Nicknames that are the same
I'm
length
so
as the
tired of
original
trying to
name.
explain to people.
Jack, John, Jack.
It's just I don't know. Just let it happen.
You're JJ.
I know why.
It's getting shorter.
It's because you loved Jack in the Box as a kid.
When you're drunk.
When you're drunk.
As a 5-year-old.
I'm going to Jack in the Box. Oh, John. Oh, John Jack.
Projectile vomiting on my family.
Give me another cigarette and give me the tacos already.
Dude, thanks again. I'm about to here in a little bit. Thanks again for coming, man, and it's a pleasure to have you on. Gump, thanks for showing up. Hey there, Pluto.
I always try to.
All right, and good night, guys.
Man, I